Hi everybody, I'm Veggiewagonyee.
And I'm MTGNerdGirl.
And today, thanks to our sponsor, Wizards of the Coast, we have an exclusive look at the Tomb Raider Secret Lair.
And this secret lair has one brand new card to Magic the Gathering, as well as 5 reprints and a treasure token, all featuring the Tomb Raider art.
We're going to explore each of those cards individually and show you a couple different ways that you can build your very own Lara Croft deck.
To start off, let's go ahead and check out the brand new card that was made for this secret lair. Lara Croft, Tomb Raider.
She costs a green, a blue, and a red for a 3/4 legendary human ranger. She has first strike and reach, and whenever Lara Croft attacks, exile up to 1 target legendary artifact card or legendary land card from a graveyard and put a discovery counter on it. You may play a card from exile with a discovery counter on it this turn. And then she also has Raid. At end of combat on your turn, if you attack to this turn, create a treasure token.
I've always been a fan of the raid mechanic. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you go into combat? That sounds right.
Uh-huh.
And this kind of bridges the gap because I'm not so much a combat guy, but I certainly like the combo of green, blue, and red.
And you like legendary lands and silly things?
Yeah, this is a very fun ability that I think can be taken a bunch of different directions, and I'm very excited to build with it.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the cards that are going to be reprinted into the secret lair, and then we'll see if we can build some cool stuff. First up, we have Heart of the Explorer.
This is brand new art for Search for Azcanta, an enchantment that helps to put cards into your graveyard.
This new art depicts a moment from the very first Tomb Raider when Lara discovers the Lost Valley and all the dinosaurs within it.
And it synergizes perfectly with her ability because it helps to put those legendary lands and artifacts into your graveyard so you can bring them back. And once you've done that, it just flips into a value land.
Next up, we have Storms of Yamatai.
This is Anger of the Gods, a sorcery that helps to take out all of the smaller creatures on the board.
And the art depicts a moment when Lara Croft in the 2013 Tomb Raider embarks on the endurance to find the lost kingdom of Yamatai.
And this works perfectly with Lara, who has a 4 toughness, so she survives, just like in the game, to make it there, spoilers, while also clearing the way for her attack and raid ability.
Next up, we have the Grim Whisperer.
This is beautiful new art for Bow of Nylea, a utility artifact that has a mode for every situation.
And the art depicts Lara herself using one of the most powerful weapons in the Rise of the Tomb Raider.
And it synergizes so well with the fact that Lara has first strike. So when she swings with this out, she also gets Death Touch and is impossible to block.
Next up, we have Totek's Spear.
It's Shadow Spear, one of the most popular artifacts in Magic, and it gives your creatures some pretty good abilities.
And the art depicts Lara wielding Totek's Spear from the 2010 Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light.
This also works perfectly with her. Not only does it neutralize some of your opponent's best threats, but it is a legendary artifact that she can bring back as many times as she wants.
Next up, we have Katesh Sunken City.
This is Academy Ruins, a utility land that brings your best artifacts back to the top of your library.
And the art features Lara on the search for the divine source in the 2015 Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Your opponents are never going to be able to get rid of your best artifacts because while this keeps bringing them back, she can also bring Katesh back onto the battlefield. And don't forget this brand new treasure token, perfect for when you get your raid trigger for attacking with Lara.
And the art depicts relics from throughout the Tomb Raider series, including the Atlas, which was used to discover the hidden ruins of Katesh. The cool thing about Lara Croft Tomb Raider is that her ability is so flexible, she can be built in a ton of different ways.
So we're going to show you 3 different deck builds with Lara as your commander that focus on different parts of her ability and use all of the cards that come with this secret lair.
Our first deck build is the artifact approach. This deck focuses on enabling Lara to get into combat and recur important legendary equipments so that way she can continue to do so.
Of course, we had to start with Totek's Spear, which is included in the secret lair, because it comes down early, it is a legendary artifact that can be brought back, and it helps her to get combat damage in by giving her trample.
Shadow Spear is just an incredibly powerful card in any commander game, and should be included in just about every single one of these decks.
Right. I know I've lost many times to things that are hexproof or indestructible, and I will personally be slamming this in a lot more decks when I pick it up.
Life gain with the race, it does everything.
The Grim Whisper is also perfect for this build. Giving Lara Death Touch while she already has First Strike means it's going to be really hard to block her.
And if you can't block her, you get to continue to activate her ability every single turn, returning all of your powerful artifacts and lands.
And of course, if that's not enough, then you can put +1/+1 counters on her with the bow until she's big enough to get in.
Another card I really wanted to feature in this deck list was Helm of the Host. I love this card.
If you're fans of the show, you already know our opinions on this card, but I even have to admit that it is very good in this build. It's legendary, so it's going to be impossible to get rid of, and attacking with a million Laras every turn is so many triggers. And if you want to get a little mean with it, you can just recur Mindslaver every turn.
Yeah, that would be a really great way to just get rid of the friends you don't want to have anymore.
What friends? Our second build focuses on bringing legendary lands out of the graveyard so you can get max value out of their abilities and then the fact that they produce mana on your board.
And this deck is full of things that are going to be sacrificing our lands, so we have Katesh Sunken City as one of those featured legendary lands from within the Secret Lair. We can sacrifice it and recur it super easy and continue to get use out of its ability.
One of the best ways to sacrifice your legendary lands is to Hammer of Purphoros. This turns them into creatures and has the extra benefit of giving Lara haste herself.
And you have the nice backup plan that even if they answer this, it itself is a legendary artifact, so she can bring that back too. And finally, another include we really wanted to share with you guys is the Channel Lands.
These already had very powerful abilities that are good in most situations, but then also getting to play them as a land, max value.
And our third and final build is the mill approach. You can put cards in your deck that will self-mill you to help you dig to legendary lands and artifacts that you can recur, giving you a ton of extra value. The first card we had to include was from the Secret Lair itself, the Heart of the Explorer.
You're telling me that for 2 mana, you get continuous self-mill and you get to fix your draws, and then later on, it's going to find some of your more powerful effects.
And you get to recur all of those things that it puts in the graveyard to begin with? Sign me up.
My personal favorite include for this deck is Grimoire of the Dead. It helps to get your legendary artifacts and lands from your hand into your graveyard, and eventually it zombifies everything from everyone's graveyard onto your board.
And you can do that more than once, because after it sacrifices itself, it can just be brought back. And the final card we wanted to highlight from this build is Maddening Cacophony. It's going to mill the entire table and allow you to get all the goodies out of their graveyard.
Yeah, this is the most efficient way to just dump mass cards into graveyards, and then there's no way you're gonna miss.
And if you would like to take a closer look at any of these unique deck builds, we went ahead and uploaded them onto our Moxfield account. We have a link down below in the description for you.
Lara Croft Tomb Raider is a very fun and powerful commander, and there's so many different ways that you can build her. Plus, all the cards that come in the Secret Lair are pretty much instant includes.
I don't think I've ever seen a Secret Lair synergize so well with itself. And if that interests you, you guys have until the 26th to pick up your copy of this Secret Lair.
You can use the link right down below in the description. It's a perfect gift for a Tomb Raider fan, for a Magic the Gathering fan, or like me, you can just buy it for yourself.
To wrap things up, we'd like to thank the sponsor of this episode, Wizards of the Coast.
And if you liked the video and would like to see these cards in action, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel.
That's it from us for now. We'll see you next time.